Hello, and welcome to Husky Talk. I am your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. I would like to thank our sponsors at Procyon Partners. Procyon Partners, they are one of the top 50 fastest growing companies in the nation. President Sean Rabinowitz is a proud supporter of Husky Talk and always provides exceptional results for his clients. And also Pete Finch and the Finch Law Firm. If you feel your rights have been violated, have been in an accident, or otherwise need services, the Finch firm is for you. In a pinch, call Finch. And with me today, a very special guest. We've tried to connect several times. He's a busy man. He's working 48 jobs and a lot of hours. He's got a family. He's got kids. He's got hurricanes coming on him. The former UConn linebacker and CFL star, Mr. Maurice Lloyd. Welcome to Husky Talk.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, brother. You know, UConn Huskies.
Yeah, right. Going back a long way. I was trying to think. Did you come in 2000 or 2001?
I came in 2001.
You were in 01. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It was because I remember you and Fincher. You guys were so dynamic back there and made our linebacking group just one of the best around. And nobody could run sideline to sideline like you. I mean, it totally made a difference. And yeah. I was looking back on some old film. I don't know how, but the Miami game was online, and I remember watching a Miami game, and we hung with them, man. We played them pretty tough. I was impressed. I mean, we didn't get totally destroyed. You played well. I mean, we all played well. It was a great experience, and
Yes.
I think that was kind of the turning point that season when we started to make a difference and start winning. We turned things around.
Yeah.
But I know you're from Florida,
Born and
raised. Football down there, it's a different world. It's king. Florida, Texas, Jersey, California. I mean, those are football states.
Right.
Were you someone at an early age that played football? Did you start young?
Yeah, man. I actually started at the age of 5.
5.
I started.
Wow.
At the age of 5, I started flag football, and then from the age of 6 up, I went to tackle.
Oh my God! They had you in pads at 6 years old.
Listen, man. All you do is eat, breathe, and sleep football.
I know.
That was it, man. You know, I stayed around the park. Literally, I'm talking about a block over.
Yeah.
Growing up, I used to go to this, and it was crazy is I didn't know nothing about football at all. Like,
Yeah.
you know, my 2 oldest brothers, one of them played like high school, but he had the stock, he had bad asthma. My oldest brother, he really wasn't. He was a pretty boy, so he was like, "Nah, that ain't for me."
Yeah.
But I used to go to this park every day, and I used to just watch these kids play. And then one time, a coach seen me out there. He was like, "Man, what you doing?" I said, "Man, I just come out here and watch. It just look fun." And he was like, "Well, 2 things." I'm like, "Okay. 1 is crazy. Get your permission slip signed for your mama, and you could come up." I said, "Cool." And 2, make sure you never ask you when you come out here.
You was smart.
He was
smart.
He was like, "Man, I don't really care if you got the rub cooking oil and you smell like Crisco. Just don't come out here with them ashy legs ever again." I'm like,
He said that to you. Wow.
Yeah, he told me that, and it stuck with me. But I tell people all the time, if I'm ashy, at least let you know I showered. So
there you go. I'll take that.
It started off from there, man. And I'm talking about, I'm playing with some guys that this is all we had. Like,
no, I know you played with a lot of great talent.
Yeah, but when I first started, man, I was getting bullied because I ain't know nothing about it. I'm putting on a
Yeah.
helmet, shoulder pad, as we call it. You had the Thurman Thomas face mask. I'm playing safety and tight end with a ball going down the middle. I'm like, man, this ain't cool. I'm getting cracked on. And then as I learned the game and I figured out that I could actually punish somebody and get praised for it, it took off from there.
It's punishment without being thrown in jail. You're allowed to knock people around, and you're not going to get in trouble for it. So
Exactly.
you started off as a tight end, like you were down in a 3-point stance,
Man,
blocking and running routes.
what's crazy is I started as a tight. When I first put my hand played football, I started at tight end, and then one time a coach was like, "Get back there," and I played safety, and I ain't know nothing about safety. I'm just back there, and the quarterback overthrew the receiver, and I caught the ball, and I felt like you remember the little Giants. I'm gonna get,
Oh, are you kidding me?
and that's how I felt when I caught the ball. I just ran. I'm like, man, I can't let nobody hit me. These some big boys. And then once I started learning the game, what's crazy was probably about 8, 9 years old, I actually became a pulling guard.
They moved you up front. You were playing on the line.
My best friend was the running back. I was a little chunky kid, bow-legged, bad attitude. They put me at pulling guard from probably about 9 years old until the end of my freshman year. I played offensive line and linebacker, fullback, tight end, safety.
God, you played everything.
I played everything besides quarterback, kicker, and defensive line. Every other position I played.
Was your coaching at that level 7 through 9? Would you say it was good? Were they good coaches?
It actually was great coaches.
Okay.
Not getting no money, getting off
Yeah.
work, coming in, volunteering from 5 to 7, teaching us the game, the board drill. Like when I came to UConn, yes, I had great coaches in high school, but when I came to high school, my freshman and sophomore year, the game wasn't even that fast to me because of the coaches that I had. Like
Yeah.
one of my coaches named Clarence Bell, but I call him Coach. We call him Coach Bill. He played linebacker at Mainland High School, then went to University of Florida. So I had a linebacker coach from there. Then I had another coach that played in high school. So I had some raw talent. Down the street was Wes Chandler that played at University of Florida and played at Pittsburgh Steelers. And then I had a great opportunity to play against his nephew, Dallas Baker, who played at
Yeah.
University of Florida and went to me and Dallas Baker are great friends. Like I could pick up the phone even though he's in season. When he get free time, he called me at University of Bella, wide receiver coach. Great guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Wow. That's an amazing group. That to have that so early on, and they were able to teach you the fundamentals of the game, and then I'm sure by the time I mean ninth grade when you got to did you play JV or did you go right up to varsity in ninth
Nah,
grade?
my freshman year, I actually started late because I got injured before the season.
Okay.
So I literally stayed on freshman, and I was cool with that. Like we
Yeah.
had some talent, man. We had before I got to mainland, you had TT Tolliver, who went to play that. He got like 5 or 7 Arena One championship with either Orlando Predators, Tampa Bay Storm, and he was with Tampa Bay Buccaneers when they won not when they won the Super Bowl. Um, my people's Antoine Wyatt, who went to Clemson and cut me and got drafted by the Eagles. My wide receiver coach was Terry Anthony, who played at Florida State, played with Deion Sanders.
Jeez.
So when I tell you Mainland produces, like a lot of people don't know we call him Buster, but his name's James Davis, who played middle linebacker for Florida State and went to the league, had a chance
Yeah.
to meet Fincher. He from my hometown. Um, we got a couple guys that's in the league right now that's
Yeah.
like Tank Dale. Tank Dale went to Mainland High School, number 3 from Houston, Texas. So,
Wow.
and then it's another guy, I can't remember his name. He came after me, but he went to USC. Now he's in the league. So Ricardo Allen that played for Atlanta Falcons and the Cleveland, no, Cincinnati Bengals. Even a rivalry school, Janikowski, the kickers for the Ravens, the
Yes.
Raiders.
Yes.
He went to Seabridge
Sebastian.
rivalry school. Sebastian, I played against him in high school.
Oh
I
my
played against
God.
I played against Eric Weems, who played for Atlanta Falcons and Chicago Bears as a kick returner, punt returner, wide receiver. So the 386 put out a lot of kids. As a matter of fact, it's a running back that's from Oak Hill. Even Mostra, what's his name? That,
Moster. Yeah, from the Dolphins.
yeah, he's literally from New Smyrna Beach.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. So that was a breeding ground.
yeah, Derrick Henry literally 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes from my hometown at Eustis, Florida. That's out there giving people the crazy stiff arm. So a lot of those
Still a
guys,
beast.
that's in the league that is doing their thing now. You got another guy, like I said, I can't remember his name, but I know his sister. But he's played in the NFL at running back. He scored a touchdown with Tennessee, and he was with the Jets, if I'm not mistaken. I don't want to name the teams that he wasn't with, but a lot of guys that I played against growing up, high school, played in the NFL, CFL, arena, you name it. My homeboy, one of my great friends, Edgerel Qualley, call him EJ. He got drafted from LSU to New Orleans Saints. And with New Orleans Saints, Kansas City Chiefs, got 2 Grey Cup championships up from the CFL. So I know
Right.
a lot of guys that I played with and played against, and it was a great experience.
And when you play with that kind of talent,
Mm-hmm.
that obviously makes you better. It pushes you, it makes you more competitive, and they get the most out of you because you're playing against the best and with the best.
You playing with the best against the best, and you also that's what it happens where you get a chance to, you don't have a recruit, you don't have nobody recruiting you in school, but when you go against these type of calibers and they coming to look at the person on the other side, your opponent, they're like,
They
who is
see
this?
you.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I lost 17 scholarships before I came to UConn.
Yeah. Yeah. I interviewed somebody today. I can't remember who told me this story, who said that you were all set to go to LSU and then you had a broken jaw and they pulled your offer, and that's when Randolph came in and got you.
What's crazy is UConn wasn't even looking at me.
Yeah, that's what he said. I couldn't
They was
believe that.
they wasn't even staring at me. Coach JD Hall, may he rest in peace, from Jacksonville,
I
Florida,
know. Yeah.
went to Cookman, and that's the stomping ground. So what I did was, I every day I went by and shook every recruiter hand after practice, regardless they was there for me, because majority of those guys was there for, like, my offensive lineman. His name was, we call him Big John. He played at Penn State. He came in. He left high school as an offensive lineman at 6'7".
Jesus.
So I already had my mindset. I'm going to be a Tiger. I went up there, ate up the camp. That's when we went there because they wanted to see Big John Wilson. I ate up the camp. I'm talking about ate the camp up, showing out better in front of Nick Saban, better than the guys that he had recruited to come to the camp. And he had an opportunity to see me before we got back on the road to go back to Daytona. And he was like, I'm not going to lie to you, young man. I never heard of you a day in my life, but I looked you up. And if you can have a senior year like you had your junior year and watching your film, I offer you a scholarship right now. It
We
was
got a
me.
spot for you.
Yeah, it was me, Mark Lippin, and John Moranto, my defensive back coach and my head coach. I shook hands. I say, I'm committed right now. I ain't want to go to another school. I'm here. I knew about LSU. And then I broke my jaw, finished that game with a broken jaw, played the following week with a broken jaw. Football
Of
was
course you did.
football was life down here. I set out. 4 games, came back, and Randy came in my office. And matter of fact, I think I forgot the office of the defensive coordinator and defensive back coach at that time. I definitely know the defensive back coach. It wasn't
Torian Gray.
no, it was the coach right before Torian Gray.
Oh, it was Kent Briggs. Was it Briggs?
I think it was Briggs. I'm not don't mark
He
me.
was the DC, or
And
he was only there for a year.
yep, that's him then. That was him because he
Yeah.
came in my freshman year. And Coach Briggs and JD came to watch me play a basketball game.
That's a very big recruiting tool. We always used to want to see kids play basketball.
So they came and watched me play basketball, and probably a couple of weeks later, I'm coming in the house, and Coach Randy Elks was sitting in my mom's living room talking to my mom and dad. And I just walked in. I sat down.
A home visit. Wow.
And me and Corey McKinney, we came up there together. It was me, Corey McKinney, and EJ Qualley, because EJ was coming up there too. He went to Georgia Tech, but me and Corey actually called each other when we got home, like, yo, you going, I'm going. All right, then we going. And we came up there, man, and the rest was history. And Corey left, I stayed. I'll never forget, man, they threw me in the fire.
I know they did.
I ain't know nothing about college ball, just run to the ball, tackle the man with the ball.
Well, you were a different breed of athlete, and that's what the difference was. Your class, the class before that, coach started bringing in true FBS players, like guys who were amazing athletes, guys who could do it all. And we didn't have that before. We were we were very poor athletes. Like I used to say, I was good at getting in the way of people. I get in the way of people. I don't know if I did much more than that, but I get in the way of people.
Well, you played with a good friend of mine, though. We call him Zeus down here, but his name was Carlos Harris.
Oh, of course. Yes. Wow.
What's crazy is he called me and told me to come up there. And then he left and came back.
Yeah.
But I flew up there. Me and him talk about this all the time. I'm like, Zeus, man, how you gonna ask me to come join you and you leave me?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it was a great experience, man. Everybody asked me, do I have any regrets? I told them no. I said my biggest thing is a lot of people go to schools to be part of history. I can actually say I went to UConn and made history.
You made history, 100%. 100% you did. When you started in high school,
mm-hmm.
Were you playing both ways? Were you playing linebacker on defense, and were you still playing on offense, or did they have you one way?
Once I got to varsity, man, what's crazy is we had so many players. You didn't have to go both ways.
Yeah, you didn't have to, right?
You literally had a true 11 starting defensive players, true 11 starting offensive players. It reminds you, when I got to UConn, it felt like I was home. Like you had your true starters going against each other, and you had enough to run a full scout team. Like,
right.
It wasn't like how it is now with kids have to go both ways to make a team. We didn't have that. We had every bit of 80 to 100 players out there daily.
Yeah. And that's why Florida is how great it is. I mean, Florida, like you said, Florida football is life. I coached at Holy Cross for 10 years, and I got to recruit Texas. And I remember going to Texas, and I was blown away by the facilities they had, the stadiums, and they had an athletic period built into the school day to where, like, it was at 9:00. Whatever sports team you were on or whatever sports season it was in, you would go with that team, and you would have an hour and a half, and they would either have a practice, lift, or meeting. And then after school, another practice, lift, or meeting. I was shocked by that because I'm in New York State, and New York State is probably one of the worst states for high school football and high school football talent. The number of kids that went Division I on your team are probably equivalent to the number of kids who went Division I in our entire state. So that's why it was different. And that's why I always wish, like, here we don't even do spring ball. I mean, and it's drives me nuts. And I know even now, because things are specialized and different, and kids have to play one sport really, with travel and AAU and different club teams. But football still reigns down there, and I don't think it'll ever change. And that's the one beautiful thing about Florida is, doesn't matter. Football will always be king. And how did your high school team perform? I mean, you obviously had a lot of talent. Did you guys win as a team?
Well, that's the thing about it. We had so much talent that we got in our own way. We
Yeah.
always made a good run. I want to say I came in high school in 97, 97, 98. I want to say in 2000, we was district champs. We always made it deep in the playoffs, but
Yeah.
never championship.
Well, I mean, that's a great run to make to win the district, to go to the playoffs. That's still special.
Oh,
And
I never went the 4 years I played there that I can remember. Again, I didn't play varsity until my sophomore year, and that was basically I did the same thing I did when I got to UConn. Special teams my sophomore year, played linebacker, and then my junior and senior year played safety. Got recruited as a safety.
I remember that.
Walked in Randy El's office, told him, "Listen, man, I can't. This ain't for me." He was like, "What you mean?" I don't want to guard nobody. Put me in the box. I want to hit.
I want to hit. I
I
know. Yeah.
Hey, listen, man, and y'all can put people back there that's running 4.4s, 4.5s, legit. I may give you one good 4.5 in these 4 years I got. That just ain't my forte. I never had testing speed, but I tell people all the time, I can't remember me ever getting burnt on the
No.
field. Like
No.
I studied the game, so I had a pleasure, man. It was a great experience down here, and what's crazy is when I was the head coach up there in Connecticut, me and the AD bumped heads all the time when I became the head coach. Because it was like, if you do spring ball, you got to push back this and you can't do that. And you got to start late in the summer. Y'all can't talk to the kids doing 7-on-7 passing league. Y'all got to have assistants. You got to have players that was here to be on the side. I'm like, what is this? This ain't football. They're like, what do you
Yeah.
mean? Hey, man, in Florida, we have spring ball, we have summer workout,
Mm-hmm.
or summer camp. We travel to college to passing leads. The
You
coaches
did.
on the sideline working with the DBs and the skill guys. And now they implemented big boy camp. So now our big boys bring their helmets and shoulder pads and compete for that. I'm just
Yep.
like, this is why y'all don't have a good recruiting class for football, because y'all capping on what y'all need to do for these kids and let them have the ability to move forward. Like, you can't take away spring ball when it's sunny and grass is showing. Let them kids play football or they're going to be into something else. So me and him bumped heads daily, every season. Actually, he suspended me for a game
Yeah.
because I had elementary, middle, and high school, different schools out there. And because I was on the field and they was running routes, I got suspended because it wasn't CIAC rules. I'm like,
Yeah, that's stupid. The CIAC was just a mess. I
man,
I coached at Windsor for a couple years, and the I still didn't like the point system they had for making the playoffs. I thought that was ridiculous. It was all dependent on who you lost to, and if you lost to a team that beat other good teams, then you got more points. It wasn't based on merit. It wasn't based on how good you really were, and that's what was so
right.
frustrating for me. I didn't know that. I didn't know you were in Connecticut coaching. What school were you at?
Well, before I went to the CFL, I started off at Chris Bellamy School coaching linebacker.
Oh,
So I did that, and then I got the phone call to go to the CFL. So I
right.
left there, went played pro ball for 5 seasons, came back, coached under Coach Dwayne Miranda at New London for a season.
Yes.
Left there, went to Bloomfield High School,
Wow. You went to all the powerhouses.
Yeah, coached there for 5 seasons under Ty Outlaw. Um, was co-defensive coordinator with Garfield White. We went 13-0 1 year and won the state. Then I came back, I think a year or two after that, and then I became the head coach at Craig High School. So yeah, I had 3 schools to make one team. When I first got there, when I tell you those kids just wanted to learn the game, but didn't understand the game. And then I brought my guy with me, Sebastian Gordon, who played D-line down there in, I want to say Virginia, if I'm not mistaken. But he came, I had him be the assistant head coach, and I was teaching him because I brought him to me in Bloomfield High School to help me with D-line with Country, because Country is handled the offensive line. But my first year there, we went 2-8. The following year, we went 1-9. And then when I left there, the first time we became in a conference, I'll never forget. I think it was not Ledger, it was Plainfield. Plainfield,
Yeah.
they was looking, the coach stood up and he was like, I don't care what y'all say. Every wide receiver at Craig need to be first team. But
Right.
because they were shocked the way we played. They were like, oh my gosh, and we end up losing because appreciate Jeff Lawson giving me the opportunity to become the head coach there because I worked at his school. Um,
That's who it was. I had Larson on yesterday. He's the one who told me the story. That's right.
so Jeff Lawson gave me the opportunity to become the head coach and
Because he
change.
was the principal, right?
Yep. And he
Right.
called me at work one day. I was at work. He was like, Mo, because he was crazy was he was down in Hartford at a
Yeah.
match and he had my daughter. And he didn't know that was my daughter. And I told my daughter, she was like, Dad, this principal, he's always riding me. I'm like, what?
That's about right.
And she was like, his name Jeff Lawson. I said, Jeff Lawson? I say, when you go to school tomorrow, tell Jeff Lawson who your dad is. So, so she say, Mr. Lawson, yes, you always yelling and screaming at me. And I told my dad. And he was like, and he told me to tell you who he was. Who's your dad? Maurice Lloyd. He was like, whoa.
I'm sure. Yeah, his face went white. I'm sure. Sure, you went pale.
He was like, Mo Lloyd, your dad? Yeah. He said,
Okay,
oh.
young lady. Whatever you need, please just come to me.
And he called me one day. He was like, Mo, I'm going to become a head principal. And when I get the opportunity, a
Yep.
position open, I'm coming to get you. I'm like, Jeff, you know how many, I told him, I said, you know how many times people have told me that and left me out to dry? And he called me. I was working in a lockdown residential, man. And he called me. I went and did an interview and we changed that school.
You did.
That school was.
That was a tough school. I remember because I was at Windsor at the time, and I was going to go with him too, but I ended up staying at Windsor, and I know what a tough school that was, and how he turned it around. You guys turned it around. I can't remember if Uwe went there or not, but I mean it was a rough place,
I don't
and
I don't think Uwe went there, but man, when I walked in that side of that school, my first day being officially hired, I came in a two-piece suit. And that was the last time they ever seen me in a two-piece suit.
yeah.
I had to break up a fight in the cafeteria.
Probably.
The girl spit on me,
Of course
but
they did.
but one of them passed away, may she rest in peace. But the other
Yeah.
one, I can't remember. I don't know where she at. But when I tell you, those kids still talk to me to this day, hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, any social media they can find me on. You know, I love the school. Back then, I know they got new um head people in charge. I won't say the name. I won't even badmouth him on the podcast. That's
You're
not Mo.
very diplomatic, Mo. I like it.
Not Mo Lord. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. So the superintendent name was Tim Sullivan, if I'm not mistaken. And I know he coached, but the last time I stepped foot inside his office, it still registered with me to this day when he sat there and told me my values doesn't match their values.
That is not really an appropriate statement to say, if I can say it diplomatically.
Well, you can. It's your podcast,
I can't believe he said that to you, of
but
all people.
yeah, but what he didn't know was, and I didn't even want to even explain to him, well, while you sleeping in your house and you comfortable wherever you slept at, my phone was ringing at 11, 12 o'clock, and I was doing delivery and paying for kids to eat because they didn't have no food. Uh,
Exactly.
skipping went down, fights went down, referrals went down. Well, me and this guy, um, Steve Higgins, and a couple other staff members, we implemented restorative practice. Um, so we taught the kids how to manage their
That's
feelings,
huge.
emotions. Yeah, and then he let me take charge on PD of teaching teachers and the staff the difference between empathy and sympathy, because a lot of kids don't want
They don't know that. Yeah,
they
they
want.
want empathy.
So so the skipping went down, referrals went down, academics went up, and we even had restorative practice to a point where we even let the teachers fill it out if they wanted to have mediation with the student.
That's a great option.
Yeah, so some teachers said no, but majority of the teachers was on board to say yes because they cared about the kids.
They gave him a voice. Yeah.
Right. And they gave, and we sat in there, we did mediation, and a lot of the teachers that didn't come from Harvard, or
No.
it's
No.
it was a different atmosphere to understand why these kids come to class and go to sleep. And I had to tell one teacher, I'm like, that kid came to your class to go to sleep because he felt comfortable that he was safe around.
Safe. Yeah.
I said, so you got to tip your hat. I understand he's not passing in your class, but at this moment, if he feels safe to you, then you can have that encouraging conversation on breaking down those barriers. Because let's just be honest, you come from two-family household, but they don't understand your background and don't know who you are. They just see you as a teacher. So to you,
You're
to
not
them,
relatable.
you're not relatable, but you
Yeah.
got a lot of tools that's relatable to them. But as a teacher, I got to stay professional. And that's,
Correct.
don't get it wrong. I get it. But at the same time, you also got to be relatable. Sometimes you got to talk about yourself and your background of why you got where you're at to relate
Absolutely.
to the kids. So, and that stuck with me to this day. So I told myself I can't work inside schools because I was taking it home.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
home, man. It was bad for business, Steve. It was bad, but it was a pleasure meeting those kids. I went up there, saw the last group of kids I saw come into Craig. I literally flew up from Florida, came to their graduation
Yeah.
because I promised them that I would watch them walk across that stage. And a lot of those kids still hit me up, man. And I was like, one kid hit me up, Coach, you have no idea how you saved me. And that's so for a guy to say my values doesn't match your values. Tim Sullivan, your values didn't understand where these kids came from, so that's why you couldn't understand our values.
That's just so ignorant of a guy to say that and to not know his own community and to know his own district. It's sad, and people like that are the ones that get promoted, and it's sad how it
And
happens. And
yeah,
I remember doing similar things like you when I was at Windsor. I was giving kids rides home. If they got hurt, I was taking them to the ER, uh, picking them up for practice, because it was a similar situation. They didn't have the family members or the resources to do all that stuff. And it's a whole different atmosphere when you're talking, Hartford in that area. And when you walk into that, I mean, that battle tests you and you were fully prepared for it. I didn't remember, what was your major at UConn?
psychology.
You were psych. Okay. So that's why you're so good with this. Okay. You were a psych guy.
Yes, sir. Yep.
All right. That makes sense then.
Yep. I had a kid today. One of my players said, "Coach, you look smart, but you look like you only had like a 3.0 GPA." I said, "No. I took AP and honor classes in high school. I had a 3.5 cum.
Yeah.
Don't ever get it twisted. Like
Yeah.
I can't. I say even if I wouldn't have went for football, I could have went for academics because I cared about my academics. I even actually made the dean's list a couple of times at UConn.
I know you were one of the ones that carried our GPA. I mean, we had great we had a few guys that helped carry that GPA, so we were right over a 3.0. I
Right.
remember coach was so proud of that. Um, when you came in, was Orlando your coach? Todd,
I
did you
Todd Orlando, my guy. We still
nobody
talk
better?
today.
Where exactly is he at this point?
University of South Florida. Go
He's
Bulls.
at USF. That's right. That's right.
He got one
Um,
players now.
he was just awesome, man. He was incredible. I just remember being on the sidelines and he called out every play the other team was running. Like that man knew football better than anyone I've ever known to this day. Every play, he called it out. Knew exactly what it was. Knew exactly what was coming. And I know Fincher credits him, and I'm sure you do as well. Like he taught you how to watch film. He taught you what to look for, and he taught you the reads, and he really taught you how to be successful in the game.
Yeah, man. I still take that to the high school. And, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
He took one of my linebackers because he came there last year. And make a long story short, he didn't know that the head coach and I was family, and he brought my name up and he called me. And he actually made me leave my job to go to the school to meet the head coach. So he got one of my linebackers down at South Florida. We still talk. I got to get down there to
good.
meet family. I told him I'm gonna get down there, but I love Ty. If I text him, he'll text me back. But I know during the season, I'm not bothered
Yeah,
because what a lot of people didn't know, my freshman year, when what's his name, Kamari got hurt,
yes,
Coach Orlando was calling me at 10 o'clock at night to bring myself down into the trailer to watch film.
yeah. That doesn't surprise me. I didn't think he slept. I just thought he watched film all day, all night
Man,
because he just loved the game.
we got in that trailer. That man had a pillow, a cover, and he was sleeping in that trailer.
Yeah,
But he made sure that we was always prepared. Even when y'all even put the bin that on the bin ISO in, he was like,
yeah. Oh, that you ruined that. I remember that. I cannot believe you brought that up. Oh my God, they were so excited for that play. They installed it. I think we ran it 3 or 4 times in practice. Done. Shit can. That was it. We're not running this.
but you got to remember though. Like I told people, like I tell my high school players now, and that's how I felt at UConn. If y'all can get past our defense with Uwe, Sean McKay, Kashama, Perk, Roy, C. Murder, T.
Tyler.
Tyler, Jamal Lundy, me, Finch. If y'all could get past us, we wasn't worrying about like Rutgers and Temple. We're like, man, we ain't seeing them because our defense was better than them. I think Temple beat us that 1 year against.
That was our fault. That was our fault because they had Dan Klecko and we couldn't block him.
Yeah, but we didn't want to beat them. Who wanted to beat them on Thanksgiving?
Oh, that one. That one.
That's
Oh,
the that's the only time we lost to Temple.
that.
We lost to Temple my freshman year.
Yeah, I know.
After that, we beat them from here on
Yeah,
out. We beat Temple every
that
played them.
I remember that game. That game was a
Freshman year
disaster.
we lost to Temple, but that year at the same time, that's the year I think we also went down to Jersey and beat Rutgers. I think by 1 or 2. So
Game-winning field goal. Yep.
beat
That
Rutgers.
was the first Big East win.
Yep, I even remember when we went to Wake Forest when they thought when Wake Forest was ranked, and we went in there and put 21 points up in the first quarter.
Beat the crap out of them.
Shoot, remember we we went
We
out there.
put Philip Rivers,
Yeah,
Mario Williams played NC State.
he was ducking. He was
I know.
ducking.
Oh, I know, man. I that year, there were 45 bowls like there are now. I mean, we should have went to a bowl that year for
Yeah.
sure.
Remember we went to Iowa State and beat Seneca Wallace when he was the Heisman candidate. I had
One,
13 tackles that game.
one of my greatest memories was that game. Because I remember we started off. We were 2-6, and we were playing well. We were playing well, and it was Dan's sophomore year, and we
Yep.
just hadn't figured out how to win yet. Close out games. We should have won that BC game. That kills me to
Should
this
have.
day.
That's when I knocked myself out that game and Perk tore his ACL because I had a
That's
concussion.
right. That's right.
That jump bothered me every time he talk about it. I'm like, man, I'm no reason why you missed your red shirt sophomore year because I shouldn't have been on the field, but I had a concussion and I played and you tore your ACL.
Oh, you know what, dude? We all put ourselves at risk out there, and nobody would change the thing.
Oh,
Nobody would change the thing.
nah. Yeah,
Um,
we should have beat BC that year. We should have.
yeah, we had BC, and then we had Georgia Tech. That was a tough one. We weren't going to beat them. And then Buffalo, we beat, and then the last four games, that was what really was special. We got Kent, FAU just destroyed them. The last game at Memorial Stadium was special. Then we go and we shut out Navy at Navy.
Remember all that? Remember that? It was like a tsunami out
We were
there.
just talking about that with Larson, and I had Larson and Joe V on yesterday. We were just talking about that, and I remember it because it was a monsoon, and I remember like the third play of the game, Terry Colley fumbled, and I saw it. It was right in front of me, and I hesitated for like half a second. I'm like, I'm gonna get drenched and soaked for the rest of this game. I do not want to do this, but I didn't. I remember I recovered the fumble, but yeah, I remember that, and I remember they had to stand the whole game because we shut them out. They can only sit when they score, and we shut them out. Man, you guys beat them up on that triple option, which gives everyone hell, and shut them right down. And then the Iowa State game, my God, uh, the turnovers we had, the defense we played, and then I remember we ran a counter, and I never got to pull because I couldn't pull for shit. They ran counter on my side. I remember I had to go get the backside linebacker, and I got like just enough on them. We got the kick out, and then Krug pulled through, pummeled the linebacker. Terry Colley had like a 50-yard touchdown run, and that like sealed the game. And that I remember Randy in his speech afterwards. He said, "UConn football, we have finally arrived." And I remember that highlight tape showing like NBC and CBS cutting in major upset. Iowa State was ranked at the time. They had beaten Florida State that year. UConn just upset Iowa State. It was like 37-20. It was unbelievable. I remember that. That was such a great game.
Man,
And Seneca Wallace, yep,
my
shot him
friend,
right down.
I called my friends. I was like, "Yo, we just beat Iowa State. I had 2 interceptions that game."
Yeah,
They were
yeah,
like, "You're like, man, whatever," and hung the phone up on me. I was like, "Okay." Y'all,
yeah. They didn't believe it.
they like, "Yo, y'all really beat Iowa State?" I said, "Yeah," and you say, "You really had 2 interceptions and 13 tackles?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Y'all thought I was lying to y'all?" They're like, "Man, yeah, we was at another football game. We didn't believe you." So I hung the phone up on him. I'm like, "Man, that's crazy that you didn't believe me, bro. Like, that was crazy." But yeah, man, I'm still in the records. Like I told people all the time, if I could have started all 4 years, I probably would have been the top 2 for tackles. But I'm
Yeah.
still.
Oh, I know. You are. No, I know. I know. And I was trying to think the bowl year. Were you all Big East? You were all Big East, right? Yeah,
I was
you and
still,
Finch.
all Big East, and I set.
I think you were all ECAC too.
Yeah, me and Finch came in that year as high as All American candidates.
Correct.
And then I think I don't even know what the record is, but I know if somebody broke my record, they had to really play ball or be on the field a lot because we wasn't on the field a lot. But one record said I had 21 tackles, and another record said I had 19 tackles. But the record before we got there was 15 tackles one
I
game.
bet you. I bet you still have it, and I will. I will check for sure because that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. 21 tackles in a game. Um, we joined the Big East a year early. You guys joined, and 7-4. I mean, that was nobody expected that. And then
We went 8-4.
well, 8-4 total because with the bowl game. Yes, yes.
Was it? I thought it was 8. I thought we ended up being. How many games did we play that year?
I'm pretty sure you were 7-4, and then you won the bowl game, and then you were 8-4.
Oh, you got to remember we went 6-6 our sophomore year, so we played.
We played 12 games that year. We could have been 8-4, and then went 9-4. You're right.
Yep, we went 8-4, then 9-4, because I can remember the 4 teams we lost to that year. Yep.
Right. And do you have any memories from the Motor City Bowl in particular?
Man, I remember.
It was a beatdown. I just remember that.
I remember. My biggest memory of that whole experience was when we had to do that bowl brunch with Toledo.
That's right.
And that coach got up there for Toledo, and he was talking about how Coach Elsa came in and dressing, and he didn't come in with no suit and tie on. He came with a UConn polo and some slacks. And Coach Elsa stood up there, and when he stood up there, all of us, I ain't care what it was, he looked at us and he knew it was coming. We were like, UConn, Huskies, UConn.
Yeah.
Got loud, and they just, Toledo looked at us like, yo, these boys is crazy. Yeah. I'm finna see what it's about. And then Coach Elsa said the favorite line that I always say, I didn't come here for a fashion show. I came to and when he said that, it was crazy because he knew how, when he said that, we was like, yo, our coach always want to stay professional, but I don't think that coach rubbed Coach Elsa the wrong way that day. And he
did.
He let him have it, and we went to the bathroom, and 2 Toledo players was in there. It was like 5 of us in there, and they were shook. We're like, nah, man, you can go out. They go to jump.
You're not gonna get jumped.
He said something, and I said, we ain't gonna beat you up in the bathroom, but y'all gonna take this.
We're gonna beat that ass on the field.
Man, me and Finch went bananas. And that year, in that game, I think Finch switched to number 4 or something like that.
You're right. You're right. He did.
One of his best friends from Massachusetts passed away, and that was an honor for him. And I was like,
I remember that.
I love you. I'm standing 11, but I'm gonna fight with you. And we went bananas that game. Larry Taylor tips tightrope the sideline for a punt return. But we were just on something different. Like, I remember the watch, I remember the rain size. Man, I remember all of it, man. It was just going to Canada on a bus ride, had to make it back by curfew. It was epic, man. Going to the mall across the street. After winning, seeing the hotels empty those rooms so they could write UConn on the darn hotel windows, but with the lights, the lamps, man, it was epic. I'm just like, wow. Because it
was epic. It was epic. I remember it. I was there. I was so excited, and for us before you, just seeing everything pay off and come to fruition, and UConn in a bowl game, from 2001 going 2-9, and then we turned things around 2002, 2003, 2004. It all comes together, and we get to go to we join the Big East early, go to a bowl game, and we beat the MAC champions, beat the hell out of them, and that was the start of just such a great run. It was a
Yeah, man.
run. It was a run when honestly, UConn football was better than UConn basketball from then
Remember,
until 2010 for sure.
remember Gino came in there and gave us the speech before
He
we
did.
came, and I, I'm gonna tell you a story because I, what did you fly out with us on the plane first class?
No. We came to watch. We came and
All right,
watched. We
so
we Uwe and I drove through Canada.
so
Uh, yeah,
Coach Elsa put all the seniors that year in first class,
right.
and I never forget. I tell this story. John Fletch. He,
Fletch.
he's sitting next to me, and Perk on the other side. We sitting in and they say, "Do you want grilled chicken and pasta, or do you want filet mignon?" My
That's
boy,
first class.
my boy Fletcher looked up. What type of fish is filet mignon? I said, "Lord have mercy." I say, "Fletch." I said,
Oh, poor Fletch. What type of fish is fillet? That's amazing.
"Hey." Me and Perk laugh about that joke all the time, man. And he
Did
was
he order
serious.
it?
He was so serious, and he ordered the filet mignon. I say,
He did order it. Oh my God. Um, so I mean, you played in the CFL. You had a great run there. You played for 5 years,
"Yeah."
and you fit perfectly up there with the extra guy on the field. It's a passing league. You're running around, and I believe you won Grey Cups, right? Yeah,
2007
yeah,
Grey Cup
yeah,
champs. So I
yeah.
was starting middle linebacker. That was actually my first true year starting. I came in '06.
Right.
Um, I started at the end of the season in '06 because the starting middle linebacker towards MCL. And, I was on the practice squad for 13 weeks. I got
Yeah.
the phone call when I went back home to see my kids in Connecticut that I need to get myself ready because I'm starting. I'm like, okay, it's just football to me. And I made my name that those last couple of games. And when I came back to camp, I'm thinking, Coach S always told us you really don't lose a starting position from an injury. But if the
You
guy
don't.
right, if the guy in front of you the guy behind you come in and produce a little bit better than you, it's gonna be hard for you to get your position back. And this guy, I respect him so much. His name Mike McCullum. I got the utmost respect for Mike McCullum, man. He was dealing with his kid having a special illness, and he taught me the game. When you got somebody that can come in there and replace you, you really don't want to teach them.
He took you under his wing.
That young man took me under my wings and under his wings and taught me the game and taught me the plays. And me, Reggie Hunt, Anton McKenzie. But that year I came in, they called me like, "What time you reporting the rookie count?" I said, "Who a rookie?" They're like, "You're a rookie." I said, "No, I played in 2 playoffs and 4 regular seasons. I'm not a rookie no more because you consider a rookie until you play 6 full games." I said, "I'm not
Okay.
in the CFL. So you could be
Correct.
your third season up there and only play 4 games through the 3 seasons, but you still consider a rookie. So you got to go to
You
rookie camp."
you got to go to the rookie camp,
I'm
right?
not a rookie. And they're like, "Well, I'm going to call you back." I said, "Well, call me back, but I'm not coming to rookie camp. I'm not."
It was awful.
And they called me back and said, "You're right." So I came up there, man. And that year we gave up, me and Red, the defense. I don't want to say me, but the defense gave up 100-yard rushing that year.
That
That
was
whole,
it.
and during the season, and this guy, I really don't like him, but Eric Tillman brought in 2 NFL linebackers.
Yeah.
And I looked at them and I told the other linebacker, I said, "Yo, your best option, honestly, is to go find another position because you're not coming to take mine."
Right.
And
Hey, they're not gonna take your job. No.
he looked at me like I was being disrespectful. And I was like, "Bro, I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just telling you, I got this in the wrap." Like, I don't know why. I even said, I don't even know why he brought y'all in because we only gave up 100-yard rushing to a heck of a to Jonathan Reynolds, who's a heck of a running back for Calgary Stampeders. He could catch, he could run, he was a bowling ball. But we had an off game that day. But went to Toronto, had a chance to see my boys. I saw O'Neal.
Yep. Oh, he played well.
He played in the CFL.
Yep.
Sean
Sean Maine. Yeah.
and Danny D. Remember
Danny DeRivo.
Yep, he played up there,
I
and
remember him.
we played, and it was wonderful. And we won.
Hakeem played too, didn't he? Did Hakeem play a year?
I'm not sure. I've never seen Hakeem. I can't say he.
I think he did 1 year. I think he did 1 year.
But those three guys I actually played against. I actually played against them and lined up against them, and we used to go out and have a couple cocktails and catch up because once you're a Husky, you're always a Husky. So no matter what you're at. And I had a blast, but I think that year when we won, we came out that's where the Blue Jays played at in Toronto Argonaut Stadium. And we came out, I walk out, if somebody told me to come out the hotel, I come out the hotel, the whole sky, I don't know how they did it. It beamed like Batman and the sky was lit up green.
Holy crap.
It was just green. And I'm like, wow. And it's, again, I understand how the NFL feel when they win the Super Bowl. That's how we felt when we won the Grey Cup.
Well, the Grey Cup goes far past the Super Bowl. I mean, the CFL has been around much, much longer. And I enjoyed it up there as well. I was with Edmonton for a while.
That's what I finished seasons with.
Yeah. I mean, Toronto and Montreal were the best. I thought they were the most fun. They were the best franchises. Edmonton, Hamilton, not so much, but it was a good league. I just wish they were able to pay a little bit better because guys deserve more money.
Yeah, you're right. But I tell people all the time, I was by 2009 when I signed with Edmonton Eskimos, I was the highest paid American middle linebacker.
Oh, that's awesome. And that's true because they could only have so many Americans on the team. That was the other thing, the roster. So that was amazing.
My contract was $300,000 for 5 months. I say, and $100,000 up front. I say, man, $300,000 for me. Like I said, 300. You're right. We wish we could get to $7 to $8 to $9 to $1 million, but
but 300
9 teams up there.
Yeah,
but fan base. I don't listen. If someone asked me right to this day, which one you prefer, I'm telling you the CFL any given day.
Yeah.
And I'm American. I tell people it's a couple of reasons why. Politicians not big up there in the CFL, just
not at all.
PSN. But it wasn't politics to play either. The best men was on the field.
Didn't have to do with your contracts, like the NFL.
Yeah, I don't give a damn if I paid you $300,000. Somebody come in here and they better than you. You can take your $300,000. I cut you at the end of the season. You got one up on us, but you're not starting. And I loved it, man. It was epic. I'm telling you, I made great friends. I still talk to people. Matter of fact, one of my teammates from Edmonton, he sent me a Facebook video of a lady who bought my jersey at the auction. I want to say anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000.
Oh my God, that's awesome!
And she still wear my jersey to this
day. Wears your jersey.
And then I had this young kid here, like, Mo, I never had a chance to meet you. You probably one of the best linebackers I ever see play the game. You honor the game. You respect the game. I don't care what nobody say. When they talk about best linebackers that come through the CFL, your name is mentioned. And I'm just like, it touched me. Like, this kid had to be every bit of 15 to 17 years old.
Yeah.
But I've been out the league for 14 years.
Yeah.
So, but I still got my pictures. I still got my Western All-Star, CFL All-Star. I still got 4 decks of cards with me in it. So, man, it was wonderful, man.
Yeah. No, I remember watching you play up there. We were so proud of you guys. you and Sean and O'Neal and Danny representing UConn, and
Let me.
it was good for us.
I can't forget. He did play up there. He played for Hamilton Tiger Cats. Terry Cully.
Terry played well. Yes, Terry played up there as well. Absolutely. And that's the biggest problem I see now is, I played in NFL Europe for a couple of years. There's I think there's enough talent for the NFL to have like 40 teams, but guys don't get an opportunity. There's not enough reps to go around. And the NFL Europe was great at developing talent. The CFL guys got an opportunity to go back and play. And they don't have that now. There's no developmental leagues, and they're so limited, and guys end up moving on because they don't get chances. They don't get those reps. So it's sad to see. I hope that the NFL does at some point put together a developmental league, because again, players are getting missed out on. Everyone falls through the cracks. Everyone falls through the cracks. They don't get opportunities. So you coached in Connecticut. You come back to Florida, and I could see you doing phenomenal selling cars, 100%. And you coach. You're defensive coordinator. Are you a head coach in Florida?
No, I don't want that. Oh no,
Don't
no.
Yeah, you don't want that. Don't do that. Yeah, that's too much of a headache. You don't want that. I agree with you.
Majority of high school coaches in Florida, you have to work inside schools.
Yes, you do. Yes, you're right. Yes, the teachers, anyone who works at the school is going to get the job. You're right.
And I
But
don't.
you are the DC, and Randy posted about you, that he was proud of you and he thought you did a great job coaching. And there's nothing more rewarding. Like you were saying, how you still have relationships to this day with the kids from Hartford and with the kids that you're coaching now. I had the same experience with the kids I coached at Holy Cross and Dartmouth, going to their weddings and seeing them do well. There's nothing more rewarding than, you're making a positive impact on their life. You're teaching them how to be men. And again, you're not just teaching football, you're teaching them life lessons that they carry with them. And they remember that. And that's why you'll always, always have a place in their heart, because you change their lives. And when you're someone who makes a true difference in someone else's life, that's special. That's giving back. I mean, so many people are selfish. Everyone talks, nobody listens. And to be able to go in and be relatable to young people, to earn their trust, that is hard to do. And you've been doing it, and you've been doing it well for such a long time. How has this season been going for you?
Well, we started off this season. What's crazy? We started off the season 0-5 out there winning state last year. Yeah.
Wow. Well, you probably lost a lot of guys, I'm sure.
We lost 33 seniors last year.
Jesus.
We lost a 5-star corner. That's my nephew to Alabama. We lost a 3-star linebacker to South Florida with Coach Elsel.
Right.
We lost the number 1 defensive lineman in the nation to University of Florida. We lost 33 kids, but right now, it reminds me of UConn. We can end this season 5-5 and still place ourselves at the 4th through the 6th seed. And and I kind of glad that the kids face adversity early before the playoffs.
Best thing for them.
Because now when you see these kids, they like, yo, we all we got. Everybody gonna pat us on the back when we go to the playoffs. But just remember, those are the same people that are posting talking about Mainland is not Mainland.
Yeah, exactly. And you have a family of your own.
Yes.
How many kids do you have? How are they doing?
I have 3 kids. They doing great. My son, daughter's 24.
Jesus. No, you look you because I still think you're younger than me, so I'm like, yeah, 24. Wow, because
my,
you look young, so I would not picture you having a 24-year-old
yeah,
daughter.
my oldest is 24, is the girl. My oldest boy, he's a junior in the classroom. He'll be a redshirt junior next year. He got in a car accident right before the season, so he set out this year. 6'4", 235 pounds, middle linebacker at Missouri State. They going to Conference USA next year.
Conference USA, yeah.
So they going
Is,
through the same transition that we did at UConn, but they actually be in Conference USA next year. Um,
how's he recovering?
he's great. Not that he
Good.
not the knee brace on. He just texted me
Good.
yesterday, Dad. I'm like, matter of fact, pops. I'm like, what? He was like, when I come home, if we got to hit the sand and we got to get my legs strong. I say, I already got your workout plan. Don't even worry
He's
about.
got your same attitude. I love it.
Oh yeah, then I got my 5'6", 146-pound 12-year-old.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
he just walked in the house. He play football. He does football. That's what I got going on right now. Yeah, man, it's
You got big boys. Yeah, that's amazing. That's
yeah.
amazing. Good for
You
you.
may see him come over my shoulder if he ain't sleepy. I don't got no attitude. He just getting out of football practice now. So it's crazy because he's the late bloomer. Like, even what's crazy is my oldest son started taekwondo at the age of 5 too.
Wow.
Yeah,
They
remember,
still do it.
yeah, because I had him going into our senior year Motor City Bowl, so he came to all the home games. So
Oh, okay. So he loved it from the start.
yeah, then my youngest one, he really didn't see me play. My oldest seen me play, my youngest didn't, but he seen his brother play,
Yeah,
and his brother played with a chip on his shoulder, and
of course he did.
now he's starting to get it. So he had linebacker, defensive end, and tight end, and offensive line, and he's starting to get it now. And I'm like, ooh, once he really, really get it, it's
He'll
over.
take off.
Yeah.
Would he end up playing for you?
If I'm still coaching.
You're gonna still coach. You're
Listen,
good at it, man. You love it and you're good at it.
yeah, but I just might. I
Yeah.
haven't decided, but I might take his freshman year off
Okay.
just to be a dad, man.
I get that. I get that, and I've heard people do that because you want to see him play. You're missing him. You're missing getting a chance to watch him. So I totally understand taking it off to be there to watch your son and
Because
coach him up.
yeah, I coach, but see, I coach, but like I tell coaches, one thing about me is I can't coach my son and be a dad. When
No,
I'm
you're right.
on the field, I'm a coach. Once I walk off the field, he get in the car with me. We ain't talking no football. I don't want to
No,
talk football. Talk about your academics. Tell me about your social life. Let's do a mental check. I want
that's so smart.
I want to be a dad, and that's where because my son's senior year in high school, I coach
Yeah,
defense, but I coach D-line. He played linebacker, and a lot of people are like, you coach your son? I'm like, actually, I don't. They're like, what you mean you don't coach him? I don't coach my son. That's your job to do that. My job is to be a dad.
that's
Because
amazing.
a lot of kids turn away from the sports because parents don't know how to turn the switch off.
You're absolutely right. They don't. You get the helicopter parents, you get the parents that push too hard and it turns them off. And I witness it right now. One of my friends, my former high school coach, his son is 6'9" and has played basketball since he was in fourth grade. The kid never really loved basketball,
Right,
but he was the freshman sophomore year. He was on varsity. They went to the state championship both years. His junior year, he finally got a chance to start, but he didn't have a great year. He doesn't like getting yelled at, and he would get pulled out of games. So this is his senior year, and he's not playing basketball. And the parents are devastated by it. I personally blame the coach more than the parents because if you have a kid like that who has the talent, who has the ability, you know he doesn't love the game. You can't yell and scream at him. If you cultivate it and you use positive reinforcement, maybe you'll get him to start loving the game, or at least to like it more,
Right.
and then you'll get more out of him, and
Right.
then he'll be productive, and then he'll reach his potential.
Yep.
And I feel bad that the kid himself has said, I hate that I'm tall because people expect me to be this great basketball player, and he just doesn't love it. And I think because he got pushed too early on, and the way he was coached, and you're right, it turned him off 100%. But I am so happy that I finally got to talk with you and have you on. Um, I appreciate all the support you've been given for the show. We love talking, and I'm glad that you're going to do some real estate. I think you'll be great at it. Passing that test is tough, so that getting as long as you got that out of the way, I think you will do fine in the market. Do you see yourself more selling property, or doing like rentals, or kind of doing it all?
Well, again, selling. I like to do the listings. I'm trying to get into the listings and finding
Okay.
buyers to make sure, like, first time home buyers. I enjoy watching people smile and reach their
Yeah.
potential, reach things that they couldn't do or didn't assume they could buy a house because they wasn't educated on how to go about it. Definitely with all the grants that's coming up. Definitely after the election, there's going to be a lot of grants coming up to help first time buyers and
Yes.
nurses and nurse assistants, CNA, doctors, all the grants that's going on. Um, but I'm open. I know they
Good.
always say your brand. My brand right now is just to be a sponge and learn as much as I can. So when I do get an opportunity to find my brand, I know what I want to do. But I don't have no
Good.
particular brand right now that I'm trying to seek.
Good, because it's early on, and I think that philosophy and mentality is exactly what you need. And you're going to learn, and you're going to be a sponge and soak it all up. And then you have plenty of time. You'll make a decision of where you want to go, and that's going to create another revenue stream for you, which is
Right,
huge.
right,
You're very, very smart in the way that you're doing it, because you're going to be still making your commission off of your selling cars, which I'm sure is great. And the real estate market is cyclical. So it's going to be good, it's going to be bad. So you'll always have that dependable revenue, and then you'll always have some other revenue coming in depending how the market is. And
right.
you will always have something. You'll
Yeah,
always be protected.
yes,
But
sir.
I have to say, this was a phenomenal Husky talk. It was a pleasure talking with you and catching up. I am thrilled that you're coaching. You're doing well. I'm thrilled to hear about your kids. I'm happy your son is going to get a chance to do exactly what we did and play at the FBS level. Um, have you been watching UConn? Have you gotten a chance to see them?
Yeah,
Okay,
listen, they doing a lot of great things, and
they are.
they're doing amazing. My wife's
Yeah.
asked the other day, she was like, "What changed?" I say, "Really, it's just the recruiting." Like I said, when we came out there, I'll never forget. We running what we were supposed to only run 12 40-yard dashes after
Yeah.
winter workouts, but then we telling ourselves run more, and I'm looking at Dan Orlovsky like, "You run more. I want to go to class and go to sleep. Like, what are you talking about?" But everybody brought in. It wasn't no, "I'm going to the league, I'm gonna do me." Nah, it was, we all have the opportunity to go play whatever level if we wanted to. And for us to have that opportunity, we had to start winning. And we
Yeah.
all start making sure that we win it for one another. So, you know, that was a fantastic years that I was there.
Yeah.
Still, right now, we got this investment group called the Husky Investment Group.
That's
Um,
you.
yeah,
Okay. I didn't know that. Okay. I
Me,
know Dorville. I didn't know you were part of that too.
yeah.
Okay.
So me, Chris Bellamy, Blackman, Sowell, Alan Barnes, Justin Perkins, Razoo,
Oh,
Chris Bellamy, Peanut, Fincher.
yes.
So we right now we did one house rehab and flip. Then now we on the rehab and hold. So we got a duplex out in Norwich that we filling up tenants with two homes on that one. So we building, man. And part of the investing plus with the real estate. The car business is great, but it's only so much you can do in
Right.
that business. So I'm enjoying that, seeing people drive off. But I think my passion is to see people really invest into their homes, learn what it is, learn that they're in the flooded area compared to meeting the codes and just
You're
yeah,
educating them.
yeah. So it's what I mean. Cars is great, selling homes is excellent, but I think that whatever door God open up, I will be happy to walk through. But that's my thing, man. So I ain't trying to
I,
put on me.
I fully agree with you. And yeah, I think the biggest reason we have seen such improvement is I've been talking with Mike Burton. Mike Burton and his team, Bleeding Blue for Good, he put together the NIL collective that we did not have. And he always answers the call. I don't know how he does it, but he didn't want to see what he did, what we did end up for nothing. And to have success, unfortunately, in these days, you got to have money. You got to have money to pay the players,
Got
and that's what we're trying to do. Bleeding Blue for Good. You can go to the website. You can donate to any sport you want, and it's a tax write-off. So I think we will continue to have success on the field. You've already seen it. We have improved because our talent level has improved.
right.
So, anyone watching, please www.bleedingblueforgood.org. Go and donate, and I promise you, we will continue to win. And our last sponsor, Green Street Trust International. Green Street Trust is run by Rennell Jump. Rennell and his team specialize in asset management and tax planning strategies. So to schedule your tax strategy session today, go to calendly.com/Green Street Trust. And that is the end of my sponsors. For Mo Lloyd, incredible linebacker at UConn, great career in the CFL. Now an outstanding coach, defensive coordinator in Florida, selling cars. He's going to be selling real estate. He may become a doctor or a dentist. I don't know. Maybe an astronaut. I don't know. He can do it all. But it was a pleasure having you on, Mo, for
Yes.
Husky Talk. And this is going to be a great episode. And I look forward to putting it up. So thank you for being on.
Thank you for having me, brother.
And I am Steve Cully, the best podcast host in the universe. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges